Hey guys, it's Teddy. Long time no see. I just wanted to give my first impressions on Enel now that OP15 has been released. I've been playing it for a couple days now. I haven't really been doing much with One Piece. I took Emu to Pomona. Nothing really came out of that, but I did go, I think, 19-1 in dice rolls, so that was quite good. I'm very happy with that. I wish that was my win rate over the weekend, but all good. That being said, I'm not very qualified to tell you how to play this deck. This is more of a resource for me to check my understanding of the deck and a resource for the channel, mostly my friends, but for the channel to hopefully learn something about how to play it. So I'm just going to jump right in. I wrote that Enel is an aggro toolbox deck, which is crazy to me because it really should just be one or the other. Like, why did they give the toolbox deck double attack? Or why did they give the aggro deck a secret search? You tell me. Anyway, Enel is the only leader in the game that restricts the amount of Dawn cards that you have. That's made up for by his leader ability letting you ramp 5 Dawn back, so 1 active and up to 4 rested, and then attaching them to one of your characters. So the game plan is you're going to play a lot of 1-drops, swing 6k with them, and then play your 6-cost unremovable 10k power Enel. This one that is on the screen right now searches, and then the other one's a blocker. And then once you've tapped out, you can use all of your 0-cost events to Dawn minus and do a bunch of bullshit with it, and then just go again. And to top it all off, like I said, they have Holy. Holy gives things double attack. That seems pretty good. There isn't much to say about the 6-cost Enels, but basically you just want to spam the secret rare, which lets you do the secret search. It makes you trash a card from hand, so I think that's card neutral. I guess you -1. Yeah, because you play, search, trash. Yeah, you still -1. I'm prioritizing this in my mulligan every time. I don't want to see 4. But it is really the consistency engine of your deck because you can search any card and you don't have to reveal to your opponent. The blocker one is just okay. Like, I just like to activate it when I play it because I'm just going to be swinging with it anyway. It's a 6-cost 10k. Like, I'm just going to drop that on board. It does go super minus in hand, though. You do go -2, which isn't great. So I would like to use that sparingly. Getting into the Weenie Hut Jr. of the deck. Enel has 4 vassals, but really only 3 see play. I would argue that 2 see play, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Ohm, Satori, and Shura are the main 3 that you're looking for. Ohm is a very key card in power reduction. That 1k is very relevant to the current stat lines of the game. A lot of things happen at 5k power, which you kind of need. So having an extra swing and going -1k to like a Borsalino or a Nami or something is fairly relevant. Satori, I think, is your best turn 1 play because when attacking, you can scry too. Scry is just the short way of saying, look at the top cards of your deck, in this case 2, rearrange them and put them at top or bottom, however you like. So this is another consistency piece for you to just go and look for the pieces that you need. Shura is cool because you can play it and it gets rush. I haven't really found too much utility from it, so I'm just going to say that it's not super useful. And then Gadatsu's just not really seen play because it's really only relevant in the mirror, kind of, sort of. And power reduction does not last through the turn, so there's never going to be a time that any of your events will power reduce when Gadatsu gets KO'd. I guess unless they trigger and KO something, but I don't think that'll happen. There are a few other purple Sky Island cards in OP15, but really Holy is the only card that we're going to talk about. Like, why does it give 2 things double attack? And on your opponent's turn, like, what? 5k leaders have to commit a Dawn to swing to it? You are weak to removal, like Wiper, or just like general like Weenie removal, but I really don't know what they were thinking with this card, man. Like, it's just crazy. You could play Ohm turn 1, Holy turn 2, and then just double attack 6k if you wanted. It's nuts. Okay, getting to the most complex part about the deck is sequencing your play around all of your events. All of Enel's events are insane. we have Mamaragon, which is our first SR event in the game, which lets you draw a card and rest the 5k, which is what I was saying, that 5k is a very relevant stat line. This is the card that needs 5k bodies, because the other card, Lightning Dragon, stuns a 6k. So as long as you can get it to 5k one turn, you can chain Lightning Dragons over and over on your Borsalino, your Cavendish, your Nami, your Kihunojo, anything. So that's a very strong card. Lightning Beast Chitin, I think that's how you say it. I'm manga only, and I just read Discord Kitten. Discord Kitten just gives -1k. It's, basically Ohm, and it draws you a card, which is not too bad. But the big thing is that it's a 2k counter for 0. Why not? L4 is the same, except it buffs anything on your board for 1k for the turn, and then KOs a 3k. Okay, 3k is not a crazy stat line, but you get an extra 1k for a Dawn -1, which is really irrelevant in this deck. It's crazy. And then there's just one card that is terrorizing the NL matchup spread right now, and that's going to be Electrical Luna. We'll talk about deck lists right after this, but NL has just started teching Very to make Luna's not efficient. My understanding is that if you can have a Luna turn that doesn't stun your entire board and one of the Enels can restand, you're chilling. So you just need to do this once and you can run away with the game. There is just so much Dawn commitment that you're going to have to do that you're going to fall behind on board if you have to spend 2 turns doing Luna. So I think GP's starting to fall off. I know Red Green Luffy was a bad matchup based on sim stats in the past, and I'm sure Mihawk is pivoting towards a stun build as well, but I do think that this card is just going to push all of that back out of the meta. Okay, let's get into the deck building options. Now, these are very, very early. I think the list just changed a couple days ago in Japan. Japan also still has to deal with Borsa Quasar for the rest of the month. So there's a lot to consider here. Just don't run Sawmill's Ice Soup list that you see above. I just think you'll have a better time not doing that. The first one that I want to talk about is the event control list. That's kind of what I'm calling it, because you are playing the Charlotte Pudding, which lets you grab any event that you want. Or a Sanji, which we'll talk about. But finding another consistency piece, given that you run maybe more than 50% events in your deck. So just being able to grab half your deck is very, very nice. It also has the same stat line as the Weenies. So even if you don't draw a card, technically, you're still searching a card. Next turn, you can swing 6k if you really wanted to with the Charlotte Pudding and Leader ability. We put in the Sanji just because it's a 2k that Pudding can also search. It does have a lot of utility as well, right? You will most likely have that condition that allows you to play the Sanji for 3. So it's a 3 cost, 6k blocker. Pretty good. I think I was debating this card a lot with my friends, and I think there is a little more utility in more grindy games when you can just play a 6k on board that isn't very easily removed by most decks. So that is quite nice rather than it being another, I don't know, Lightning Beast Chitin, right? You don't need the 1k in the end game. You need to either survive or kill them, which Sanji can help with both. Reiju is another card that is being played as a result of the Electrical Luna trauma, because once you have 4 events in trash, it becomes a 9 cost, which is the relevant part of the card. You just can never get Luna'd, which is really, really nice. And then it's a 7k. So if you attach Dawn from Leader ability, it can be an 11k swing, which is quite strong. What were they thinking with this deck, man? So I really like this card. Did I mention it's a blocker? I don't think I did. I think on turns where you're not developing an Enel, the Reiju is really nice, especially considering you can also Gamma Knife. I like Gamma Knife because there's a lot of utility in getting that Dawn minus, and minus 5k is relevant for a lot of like bigger blockers or cards in general in the game. Like you can get a 10k, you can get I guess an 11k. I'm failing to think of an 11k body right now, but you can get an 11k body into Lightning Dragon range with Gamma Knife. So pretty good. We'll talk about the Porch build next. Porch is, I think, fallen off. It's super high rolling in my opinion. The whole goal is to play Porch and then play wholly off of Porch. So next turn, you have 3 bodies on board you can swing with potentially and just devastate their turn 2. It's a super funny build. Like it is the build that I started off with, the picture on the right earlier in the slides. But I just don't think it is very good because it requires you to see the Porch. Because you're playing Porch, you also play the 2K Foxy because Porch can't search half your deck. It can search approximately 0 cards of your deck. I guess it can search itself if you want to double Porch into double Holy. But the 2K is there just as a 2K. You can play the Chopper blocker. I don't think it's as good as the Sanji blocker, and it's nowhere near as good as the Reiju blocker. But we just have Foxy here instead. Heat was a really interesting option that I saw in Japan because once you Dawn minus, Heat becomes a 6k. So Porch can cheat it out, and then the next turn, you can buff it to 6k before starting to swing, which is quite strong. Divine Departure is in both builds for a very, very important reason, but I'm putting it here because I think you should run more Divine Departure just so you can get rid of your Porch bricks. I don't even know if you run the Foxy 2K, to be honest. Like maybe just run the Sanji because it's useful. This build is a little strange. Oh, that's where the deck list is. Okay, well, ignore what I said about earlier in the video. We're here. On the left is the list that I'm using today. You'll see that most notably, I'm only running 6 Enels. I really don't think the blocker is super relevant, and I would like to see the Reiju more often than not. Like Reiju low-key dies to Marcus Mars and Emu, but like, that's fine. I think I need to see 2 secret Enels and then just party my way through the rest of the game. If you want the Porch build, I still think it's like not awful. Like you see the Porch, you just high roll them. It's kind of funny. But you play the extra Divine Departure. You don't play the Gamma Knife because there isn't a great turn where you can spend 2 Dawn and like do a lot with it. And I would just prefer to have a little more consistency, and we have to keep the Varies in there for green. So I think if green falls off, then you can put other things in place of Vary. Like maybe, I don't know, another NL blocker, another Divine Departure, another 2K. But as of now, just it's got to stay. Let's get into the complex part. My hot take is that NL is not super complex. When I break it down, I really think of it as 3 steps. This TLDR is going to be 4, but you want to use your Dawn, then return your Dawn to your Dawn deck. Leader ability is going to be like I guess technically step 3, but it just kind of just happens. And then lastly, you just float the 1 Dawn and you either attach the last Dawn or play a Weenie for next turn. I think that's it. So if all you take away from this video is to do these things, then I think you're good. If you really want me to drill it into you though, like I guess you really forced my hand here. I made a whole diagram because there's something wrong with me. I broke it up into 3 parts. Like I said, first one, just use your 6 Dawn, right? Like ideally, and we're talking about the turn 3 and onwards. I don't think the first 2 turns need a guide, let alone a diagram. So part 1 is going to be using your 6 Dawn to establish board presence, right? Like if you don't have an NL out, play an NL. That's 6 Dawn. You're done. You're done with part 1. Great. This is also where you can use Divine Departure. Make sure you attach that Dawn for Divine Departure for it to work, and then tap 5. Or you can Gamma Knife Reiju, or you can just attach your Dawn, right? Like I like swinging 7k with my leader because I'm not going to be able to reattach it, and then like using 2 spells to like Dawn minus the Dawn back into my deck. I left a couple asterisks here just about like math and debating between like, do I want cards out of my opponent's hand or do I want cards out of their life, right? Like for example, on turn 2, I think there's a very simple example here of if you're facing a 5k leader, you can either swing 5k lead and then 7k weenie, or 6k lead, 6k weenie. If you're just asking for a 1-card counter, you're getting cards out of their hand, right? Like it's not an inefficient attack. You're just fishing for 2Ks. And if you get the life, then great. It kind of dictates if you swing for board or not, right? Part 2 is going to be returning those cards to your Dawn deck. So once you've attached and swung, once you've played your Enel, whatever, you want to look at your opponent's board, right? Like, is there something that I need to rest before I continue swinging, right? Like, do I need a Mamarag on a blocker? Then I should maybe Lightning Beast Chitin, Dawn -1, Mamaragon, Dawn -2, draw a card, and then rest their guy. And maybe for just to be safe, I'll just Lightning Dragon it, right? Like that's another -1. If I play the SR NL this turn, then I would just give it blocker, right? Like I mentioned. And then if you're playing a green deck, just make sure you vary. Again, I'll talk about it a little more, but I think you just vary once and then you win. And then part 3 is going to be that last floating Dawn after you use your leader ability. If you just attach, then just, send your double attack for like 9k or whatever, or go 11-14 or 10-15 with your Enels. I can't really tell you where to swing. That is a fundamental problem that I cannot tell you just off of a silly little diagram. But I can tell you that you should decide if you want to play a 1-drop next turn. Specifically, I think Ohm is going to be a really good candidate there if you need to set up for a -1k the next turn to Mamaragon, right? Let's say they have a Borsalino, or they're going to Borsalino, then you can just swing the Ohm. You don't even have to attach Dawn. Just get the -1k and then Mamarag on it. Just don't even worry about it. And then I left another optional step here to Lightning Dragon anything. I did not include Elthor because I don't think you're going to be KOing a 3k unless you, I guess, Divine Departure or something. But realistically, you can just swing into it and they will let it go. That's it. Use your Dawn, return your Dawn, activate leader ability, and then float your 1 extra active Dawn. Sounds good? Cool. Let's get into matchups. Again, I have not played many games, so I don't think that I'm qualified to tell you how to play these, but these are just general guidelines from playing it or like watching my other friends play. Lucy is the big deck on the block next to Enel. People say it's fake. People say it's Ace 2.0. I hate Fire Fist. I find here that if you swing with 1 Enel and only 1 Enel on board, you will get your ass Fire Fisted. So don't do that. I think you just build up Enels till you have 2 or 3 that can attack in waves and call it a day. You can stun the Cavendish pretty easily because they will turn the Cavendish sideways for you. Then if you want to swing into it, you can swing at numbers that would make the Sabo block very awkward, right? So you can maybe swing like 11k and force the Sabo to go +3. You can minus the Sabo and make the block more awkward, right? You either get rid of the 6k Cavendish or the 9k Sabo blocker. If they defend their Cavendish somehow, or even if they let the Sabo go, then you can also Lightning Dragon, right? Like it's great. You can stun whatever you want. Rebecca is a chump blocker that you just want to save an Elthor for. At some point, Lucy will have to start saving Dawn and attaching it to Rebecca, and then you can just pop it. So when they have the Dawn on the Rebecca is when I like to use it because it's just like inefficient for them. But you can always just pop it early if you'd like. The mirror is another race. This time, instead of racing Sabos, you are racing Enels. I would not swing first in this matchup because if you swing first, you will eat a 14k swing to your 10k at best body. Because I think the best play is going to be just doing Divine Departure Mamaragon because it makes the Enel 2k. So you just swing into the Enel with a Weenie and call it a day. And then on their turn, they can't do the same to you because they have to spend 6 Dawn to play another Enel. So you can really race them and just like try to remove 1 Enel. And as soon as you're ahead, you just kind of overwhelm them. This is another deck, or I guess the first deck in this list, where Porsche can be kind of relevant, I guess. Like going wide is quite good into Enel, and 5k swings are quite good into Enel. because only Mamaragon and then the Weenies are 1Ks. I guess Reiju too, but we have way more 2Ks, and all our 2Ks do stuff. So I don't want to eat like 5s and 7s that often. So having the Porsche out there with the Holy double attack is quite good. L4 is going to be relevant just to get rid of Weenies that aren't protected by Holy, but I don't think it's terribly relevant. I think the 1K is more relevant, to be honest. Nami is the big deck of Japan right now because they have Borsa Quasar loops. It is not so bad in the West so far, from my understanding. It can be a little grindy, but you just follow the general matchup knowledge of playing against Nami, where you force them to use leader ability and then control their board. Obviously, they have way crazier on KOs now, but like, dude, just KO the Robin. It's fine. Like, you're healthy enough. You're a 5 leader. Just go for it. I think that Porsche is another relevant card in this matchup. That's why Japan started playing it. I don't think you need it. I think you can just spam an L and call it a day. Perona necessitates Vary as well. Like, it's green plus Thriller Bark, which makes it annoying. I haven't really tested it in Amoria. It's not on this list, but I imagine it's not ideal for us either. But Vary can help out. In terms of stunning, I like to rest the Borsalino and then like stun the Nami because I don't want the 6K to swing. Like, if they swing the Borsalino, if they swing the Marco, that means they're not going to have a blocker up. So I like stunning things that are not blockers. L4 is, I think, the most relevant in this matchup where you can KO Girl. And then just like you can Divine Departure Mamaragon Enel in the mirror, you can do that to Newgate, which is kind of awesome. So I don't know. Do with that what you will. I think I won like 2 games off of that. Divine Departure Mamaragon. It feels so good. Yellow Luffy from OP15 is, from my understanding, our worst matchup. I have not that many games into it. It is a little weird because of that 5-cost rush Luffy. It makes the Ohm really relevant because if you activate Lightning Beast Chitin, you will proc the Luffy effect and it will gain more power than your minus 1K. So Ohm has to be the one to swing to put it to 6, and then you stun it using Lightning Dragon. That resolves, and then Luffy's ability resolves. So that is the only way you can stun it if you wanted to. But you're going to have a hard time keeping Ohm on board because of Wiper and Godatsu, really. They play the old Godatsu as well. Being able to go wide as well with the Robin is a bit stressful, but face of the place, man. Just like hit their face and make them take life. Make them use their heal, their golden rifle, as a heal rather than a plus 4K event. I think if you just slam face, the Enels will eventually overwhelm them. If you don't die to Luffy first, of course. I wanted to add a slide for like general Luna abusers. It looks like red-green is like the most relevant matchup, and then green-purple slowly creeping back into the meta. But that 4-cost Nami into the electrical Luna is going to be devastating if you don't have a Vary. So please have a Vary. Play your puddings, play your secret NLs, and just hold on to one. Perona isn't as relevant. I know it's here, but it only stuns a 5. Cards that stun scare me, and I know that Mihawk is playing stun build. It could make it so your Weenies can't swing. It's like kind of relevant. As long as your board is not locked for an entire turn and you can restand 1 NL, I think you're fine. And then I have to put this here because my boy Matthew keeps sending me this PNG of Shambles, and it terrifies me. It's in my dreams, bro. So at some point, an RG is going to Shambles you. It's going to be crazy. Your NL is going to be a 2K, and you can't do anything about it. Good luck. To round it off, I want to do a couple of OP13 matchups because I'm a bot, and I kind of missed that set. But maybe that's just because I played Emu. Ace has, in my opinion, fallen off. I think people are going to stick on it and keep trying to figure out a list. But 6K twice on turn 2 is kind of devastating. You can bounce the Weenies back, but it's kind of not enough because you can't really interact with my NL board. And you're going to lose 3 cards per turn unless you buff your leader. I don't really bother with an L blocker at the end of the game because Roger exists, and I'm just going to give 2K, 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 2K over and over again to try and survive. Gamma Knife is a very relevant card here because it means you can stun the Zoro. Like there's no -3, but Gamma Knife doesn't cost attach 1 Dawn and tap 5 like Divine Departure. So you can still stun the Zoro, which is quite good. I do think Gamma Knife is a relevant stat line for what I would call a mid-sized body like Zoro. And lastly, I just have to talk about my old flame. This deck just completely cooks Emu, man. Like it's insane. Lists in Japan are running 4 2K Sabo blockers because it makes it so they're running 12 2Ks and it only costs them a Rad Beam plus a 2K to get out of a 10K swing from Enel. Even then, I just think the early aggression is going to be too disgusting. Like Porsche or no Porsche. And then the key card here is going to be Mamaragon, as long as you can rest your 5K blockers. And low key, like even Jupiter early, like it would be very strong if you could rest that and swing into it. They're going to run out of cards so fast. I think this is also the only deck that you take second from. I think anytime you win dice roll, you take first. Against Emu, just take second. Just delay the Elder's turn by 1. And then lastly, like I think people started teching in Roseward to try and deal with the Weenies. The problem is not the Weenies. The problem is the 10K NL. So if you are still coping on Emu, which I wish that I was, do not play Roseward. Cool. That was an L. I'm very excited. Like this was super fun to put together. I still don't think I know shit about this deck. So don't listen to me. But go have fun. Go to your locals. And just have that dog in you, you know?